Hey, my friends. It is Seth Apter. I am here live, once again, live. Unless you're watching me on recording, then I am on a recording. But I am here for a special day because I get to share some treats with you and show you some inspiring items, objects, and things like that. We're going to go and welcome those of you who are here. And we will then, in just a few moments, leap into the heart of the matter, which is to share and show with you some really amazing treasures I got when I was in Tucson. I love to source out exciting new things. And second to that, I love to bring those to you. And usually I keep some myself, so there's a little bit of a bonus there. But I am going to just wait a couple more minutes as I let more people in. I am going to ask you all to let me know how the sound is, because just want to make sure you're hearing me well. And we're going to welcome anybody else who comes in and leaves a comment, so I know you're here. And then I am going to share with you the story behind this weekend's shop pop up drop and share what I'm going to be putting in that shop pop up drop. Welcome to Janine. She doesn't have any links today, so she is, in a manner of speaking, just hanging out. All right, I'm glad you all can hear. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for joining me, Linda, Rhonda, Jen. And I know there's more of you here, and you don't have to leave a comment. I just love to know who's hanging out with me in the studios. So, what are we in for today? We are in for just a lot of visual inspiration. Let me tell you a little bit about the background behind this. Hey, Walt, great to see you, and Marjorie too. Sound is great. All right, we are good to go. Hey, everybody, it is me, Seth Apter, and I am here to share with you some treasures that are going to be available to you, and you, and you, and you, and actually all of you, starting Friday, 2 days from now, if you're actually here the moment I'm doing this. Friday, the 20th of February at 8 p.m. Eastern in my shop at sethapter.com. It is one of my pop-ups, and it is a pop-up celebrating my adventures in Tucson, Arizona. Very recently, I was in Tucson teaching with MISA, the Madeline Island School of the Arts. It's a great organization that I've been connected to now, and they have 5 different locations throughout the U.S. I have now taught it 2, and I will be teaching at all of them by the end of next year. And one of the spots they have is in Tucson, Arizona, and I was lucky enough, fortunate enough to be able to teach there. I chose the dates I chose, very early February, for a reason. That reason is because every year, there is a gem show, the gem show. We'll call it the gem show in Tucson. Now, historically, it's been bigger. To me, it's still huge because it basically takes over the whole town. What I mean by that, convention centers, hotels, different vendors get rooms, clear it out, set things up. Anywhere there's a parking lot or an empty lot, tents go up. It is really incredible. It's impossible to see it all, especially because I was only there for 2 days. But I made the rounds, and I have some peeps that I know there. Shout out to Kathy for driving me around. And I was able to go to all the places that I thought would be a good match for me and for you guys. And I just bought and bought and bought and bought. I bought a lot, came back in my suitcase. I bought a lot, had to be shipped back from Kathy. Shout out to you, Kathy. And I now have it all here. I am feverishly spending my days photographing, editing, uploading, writing the descriptions, and getting it ready for this Friday. Did I say it was this Friday? It's Friday the 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's sethapter.com. It's a pop-up. It runs Friday night all day Saturday, all day Sunday until 8 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, February 22nd. At that point, it disappears. If there's anything left, it will just disappear. So if you want a chance to either see everything, maybe get some inspiration, or perhaps see if there's anything you want to purchase, you need to show up in that time period. And I know from experience that things go fast. And because of that, I need to put a little asterisk out. The asterisk is that in addition to the items that I purchased this year in Tucson at the Gem Show, I'm adding a little bit extra. I needed to kind of fill out the categories because even though it's a gem show, you're not going to see many gems. That's not why I went. I went for these objects and art elements and things that I thought you would all love. But I also happen to have from other sources lots of other things that I think work well. So some of those are going to show up too. And I'm trying to get so much in there that everybody can get what they want. Well, maybe not what they want, but something, so that you don't leave empty handed should you decide you want to purchase something. So I am going to share and show you now just some of the things. I do want to make mention. Two things before I begin. One is that yes, it's a Tucson Gem Show. Yes, Tucson is in Arizona. Yes, Arizona is in the Southwest desert. And yes, I love that. However, that is not really what I purchased. You're not going to see any turquoise. You're not going to see really anything that is Southwestern. So if that's why you're here, you might either be disappointed or very excited by the surprise. Really, I leaned heavy on items from Africa and from Southeast Asia and a few other assorted sundries. So that's the kind of thing, if you love, you are in for a treat. And I know there was one other thing. Yes, I know what the other thing was. I wanted to mention and welcome. There are several people here who watching right now who were in my MISA retreat in Tucson. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go to the Gem Show at all. If you did, maybe some of this will be familiar. Perhaps you've already seen it because you have it at home, but that's Walt, Marjorie, and Lori. And maybe there's someone else here. I haven't looked through all the comments. But you know what? Let's stop talking and let's do that. Because you know when I do that, I mean business. All right, so what I am going to do my very best is to show you relatively quickly a lot of what I have. I may or may not add detail. Some of it I still have to do a little bit of research on. Some of it I have notes, but I haven't added it to the shop yet. So there's not going to be any prices here. And I may not, because I'm going quickly, even be able to tell you this is where this came from. But where are we going to start? We're going to start with stamp blocks because I got a lot of them and I love stamp blocks. So let me just show you a few just so you get a sense of these beauties, and I mean beauties. Did I say they're beauties? I am just going to check one thing here and then we're going to go back to see it. So these are from Afghanistan. These are old, legit, and they're just very cool. All right, so let me just take you through. Now I'm in a place where I can just show you one by one. I'm only going to show you a few just to give you an inkling of what they look like. But I promise you there are a lot more that you will find. And I mean, who doesn't love these? I think someone probably doesn't love these, but they're probably not watching. So I have quite a range in terms of size and in terms of style. I go very often for the linear, but I also love the floral and botanistic. This one is so cool. It kind of combines both. So it is a flower shape, but the flower is made with these very linear elements and pluses and crosses, which I think is amazing. This one is, which is not nearly the biggest I have. It's a nice size. And I love the fact that this is one of the ways sometimes you know they're legit. I mean, they're all legit, but sometimes they're new. it's when they're cut like that around the edges. That's a giveaway. Although now that I said that out loud, maybe all the companies doing new ones will also do that. This is the smallest one I have, and I just adore this one. Not sure why the light isn't so great. I'll be tipping to catch the light, but I really love that one. And then I have a bunch of large ones. These are not large, that were magnificent, are magnificent. Look at that. Can we just ooh and ah for a second? That's the size of that one. Bigger than my hand, and it is spectacular. That's 4 syllables. And just to give you another idea of some of what I have some that were very well used and covered with a dye. So check out this spectacular star of the show, this one with the red. Seriously, this one is hard for me to part with. It's the first one I looked at. I grabbed it. It's going to be mine, mine, mine. But I am going to make it one of yours, yours, yours. So this is, oh, just a few of the ones that I have. Let me move these to the side. And again, there are more shapes and sizes. I, as I mentioned, went to some vendors who were selling treasures from Southeast Asia. And I found a few of these. I don't have many. I actually have two. And I guess theoretically they're necklaces. To me, I almost feel like they're more hangers, but it is a Tibetan prayer box. And I just think it's so special. So I just want you to linger on the fabric. This is full on beautiful fabric with some really beautiful stitching and some floral elements. You can see the back, the sides. It's a beautiful earthy brown and some green. It's got these gorgeous metal beads. But wait, there's more because it opens. Are we ready for the drum roll? It opens. Let's get a little sneak peek of what it opens to. Well, it opens to Buddha. And Buddha is encased inside. But more spectacular, well, I don't know if you can say something's more spectacular than Buddha, but I adore the embossing on this. It is deeply embossed, so textural, really gorgeous. So I have two of these. I have this one, just kind of a temple shape, and then I have a circular one. Those are the only two I have. They will be in the shop. Again, if you're just joining me this weekend, this is Seth Apter, and I am going to be sharing today items that are going to be this weekend in my Tuscan Treasure Market drop in my shop at sethapter.com, Friday the 20th of February at 8 p.m. through Sunday, February 22nd, 8 p.m. All right, what else do I have? I have so much here. I don't even know really where to begin. One of the things I do always is look for patina. So whenever I find an element, an object with patina, it's usually in my basket or cart. I really, really love these. These are obviously old as the hills, dug up. Just want you to see some of that detail, but really it's that patina. And this is, yeah, it's probably not going to go over my hand, but you know what? I would be using this as an element in a mixed media piece. And if there's going to be one, let's bring another one. You know, thin wrist bangle people. These are both really cool. Again, look at that detail. And then if you're going to have two, you got to have three. Three is such an important number. And of course, I have more, but I'm just showing you three. I saved the best one for last. This one is heavy, very heavy, but it is so cool. Again, I want you to notice some of those details. These are all ridged here. I don't know if that's clear. If it gets too close, it gets a little blurry. But the real cool thing is, do you see those holes? There can be a little pin inserted, which will keep it shut, but this one pulls apart and opens. And I just think anything interactive like that, it's a bonus. So these will be in the shop as well. Let's move these aside. What else have I got for you? let's take a look at some beads. Because it is a gem show, so I did have to get some beads, but of course I didn't get your run of the mill beads. So I got a bunch of different kind of um, I don't know, I kind of call them specialty beads. So these are Indian sheep brass beads with patina, and I'm selling them in a set of 7. These are the 7, and they're pretty large. They're from India. They're faceted. I just think they're really, really gorgeous. Again, anything with patina, I can feel it. So we have those. Again, I am bringing a good number of beads in that I purchased elsewhere so that I could satisfy the bead cravers in you. All right, let's see what we're going to show you next. So much to show ya. All right, so we have um, African metal pendants that I thought were incredibly unusual. They are hollow, and I'm selling them in sets of different sizes and different debossed elements. So these are the ones with the larger circles. So you see this, you can kind of compare it to the fingers to get a sense of the size. These are relatively lightweight. They have a beautiful texture there. They have the hand forged line. They have the holes on the side so you can hang it as a pendant. Of course, for me, it would always be an element in a mixed media piece. But I have these in a bunch of 4 different sizes actually, and in several different debossed patterns. But when I saw these, they were definitely a favorite. I went looking for things that maybe wouldn't or couldn't always be found. That might be a little bit unique and different. And this one definitely fit the bill. I searched for these online afterwards to get more information about them for a very long time. And I'm pretty good with those kinds of searches, and I found nothing. Now, these are African brass beads. I love these as well. These are large. They're beads. They call them beads because they have the 2 holes, so you can string them, of course, but they're also so much bigger than a typical bead. They have the most gorgeous, closely aligned concentric circle pattern, and they're beautifully textural and scratchy. And I'm selling these in sets of 2 so that I can share all the goodness with more people. Let's just keep going. Let's stay on the theme of concentric circles and African pendants and patina. And I'm just showing you one of these, but I have a series of these. These are much smaller than these elements. But that patina, oh, that patina is just so gorgeous. These are copper with the natural aged patina. Patina lovers, you're in for a good run. Speaking of patina and speaking of African pendants, I have quite a number of bronze, silver, and copper cross pendants. You've seen these in my shop before. I found some spectacular ones. I have 1 or 2, no, maybe 3 or 4 that I found with patina. They're very unusual to find the patina, but I did find this one with the patina, and it is just such a gorgeous surface. And I love, you can see the sides of it. I love just all the crossing and the scratching and the details. These are all hand done, and they're pretty spectacular. They do have that at the top, so you can use it as a pendant. But really, again, for me, these are all about art elements. So I have a lot of these, and they're all listed individually. So you're going to get what you see, although I do have a few repeats. Most of them are one and done, and they're all different sizes, shapes. I just think this is so beautiful. Love when it catches the light. So we got that one. Being very organized here, putting it back in the numbers and the labels so that when the sale is over, I won't have to spend extra hours trying to figure out and finding. I have a Turig copper cross with patina. I have a few of these, and again, just so spectacular. I mean, really, really, really beautiful. Put it in there, give you a better sense of that. Just incredible craftsmanship. These are all hand done, each and every one. So even the ones that repeat, they're all truly one of a kind. All right, so while I have a lot more of those, moving on, just to give you a little bit of a flavor of some of the things that I have. So I have some bone pendants, also from Africa. These are from cow bones. And while they are ostensibly, because they have a hole in them, they're meant as pendants, what am I going to use them for? Certainly, I'm going to use them for a mixed media assemblage, but I'm also literally going to use my bone folder as a bone folder. And I have these in many, 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 many different patterns, all very tribal and original, just so beautifully done. So we have that one. I'm just showing you three, but again, I have many, many, many more, and they all have the hole. A lot of the things I have a single or a double hole in it or more to make it easy, not only to hang, but for use in a mixed media assemblage so that you can utilize that hole when you're attaching. Or, you know, how cool would this be just to put some wire or string or thread in it and have it hang down? Okay, now my ideas are rolling. And then I think this is one of my favorite. It's an elongated mask head. And I have a number of these. Each one is unique, different, slightly different sizes with the idea of that elongated mask head. All right, let's keep moving on here. And let's see what we got. While we're on the notion of bone and cow bone, I'm going to show you a few of these. These, again, theoretically are meant as sticks for the hair, but they are so ornamental and amazing. I think they would be incredible just to decorate your studio, but more so maybe to wrap, you know, do some of my wrapping with some different fibers and beads and use as a piece for mixed media. I mean, theoretically, you know, it's bone. It's not gonna crack easily. These could also even be bone folders. So these are just two that I have. And I have many other designs and patterns. All right, let's shift gears a little bit and then we'll come back to some of these little metal things. Let me show you, I have some fabric. One of the things I looked for is some African fabric. So this is some beautifully indigo dyed fabric. I'm calling it a scarf, a runner, a piece of fabric. Um, it is mud cloth, but it's just beautiful. The reason why I'm sort of leaning into scarf, you can see now, scarf and runner is because it is quite long. It's over 50 inches long. It has two panels that have been sewn together in the middle. The seam is there and beautifully stitched. Let's see if we can get that there on camera. Let's try again. Yeah, there it is. I have a number of these different darknesses in terms of the indigo dye. These are rough and rustic, so I'm calling it a scarf, but you know, take a look at the base. This is not perfect, and that's what makes it perfect. All right. Oh, journal closure. Yes, 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 Jen. That's why I love to do this. I get inspiration from you as you get inspiration from me. What else do I have here? All right, we have some Pakistani jewelry, which I just thought was gorgeous. This is a pendant. You can see how it would hang, and it is, let's see, maybe we'll do it in here. Just quite beautiful. Just couldn't resist these. I have a bunch of these that are one of a kind, unique and different. And then I have a bunch that are pins. They have that backing to clip on. They're not quite pins, they're more like clips. I just think these would also be an amazing element for mixed media work. Let's see if we can get some of that. Yeah, that beautiful color in the jewels. And then to go big or go home, let's also bring out this, which is much more significant in terms of size and scale. I love that it has that little, like, literal hanger. Got a lot of detail in here. And it's got all these things, these dangly things that hang. So, this is amazing as is. And what a great element to adhere that to a book or a panel. But more so, should you choose to just get a little bit of wire snips, you can take this apart, use these elements separately, and use these in lots of different ways. But I really like this, and I'm not sure if you can hear that. I know sometimes when we stream live, they take away background sound, but that is a very appealing sound to me. All right, let's go back to Africa. One of the elements I love that you see in a lot of other cultures, Korea, Africa, is a sense of Japan, is a sense of reuse. If there's a hole in something, you stitch it. If there's a hole in something, you add another piece of fabric. You create that borrow. You create the elements that are imperfect become, when fixed, the best part. So I leaned into that a lot. So I got these wooden milk jugs um, that, from one side, they're very cool, but may or may not appeal to everybody. But and I have a bunch of these, all different sizes. Let's just turn. Oh, 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 oh. Is that a zipper? No. Well, it's a handmade zipper. This is how the milk jug was repaired so it could still be used. And these repairs are so magnificent and gorgeous. And everyone is completely unique to the object. They're utilitarian, they're functional, but they are spectacularly beautiful. And the thought behind the fact that something might be cracked or broken doesn't mean it needs to be discarded is really the most wonderful thing. But yeah, love this one. So if you like this one, let me show you another one. And again, I have more than just what I'm showing you. This one was the mother lode of repairs. So I can't even show you a side where there wasn't a repair. So just take a look at that. And then let's just keep turning. I mean, these are no question, 100,000% one of a kinds. I mean, we're not even back there yet to where we started. And then we have that, which is, rather than metal, is actually wood. And then we begin again. Even the base has been completely covered with hammered metal. And you see all the gorgeous elements that are used and are showing to make sure that this remains usable. All right, now let's go in a different direction. I have more jugs. I have other jugs that I just fell in love with. So take a look at this. This is so of the earth, so handmade. It's carved out of wood. It's so one of a kind. And these are these embedded, almost feel waxed, really thick threads, twine, hold it together. Get the weaving on the handle, which allows this amazing cap to come off and enables you to do that, and then have this to hang. And then again, all of these are so unique. So this has been carved in those lines. Treasures, yes. Just love these. So I have a bunch of these. They're all different. Some have covers, some don't. This one didn't have a cover, but I adored it because of the scratching and the designs in it. So again, this can hang or it can be used to hold, but take a look at that. It does look like leather. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels like leather and it feels like a waxed leather. I don't know the material of the handles or what was stitched. This is, you can feel the way this was scratched in, and there's more. We have it on that side as well. It's just so fascinating and interesting. And again, no cap, but with this level of design and detail, I could not resist this. All right, and if we're gonna have jugs, let's have a bowl. How about that, my friends? How spectacular is this? I know you've seen these, seeing them there. Or many of you have probably seen these, but seeing them there again, leaning into this notion of this is broken. It's a broken vessel, but we're not discarding it. We're enhancing it. We're going to be able to use it, and in doing so, adding that interesting detail, just gorgeousness. So I have that. Okay, let's just continue with this notion of wood and Africa. When I was at the Gem Show several years ago, I found a few handmade pieces from a loom. Now, I was told the name of it, the part that it is, and for the life of me, I can't remember. I asked somebody today, but I haven't heard back, and I kind of want to say maybe they called it a wattle, but I could be way wrong. Many of you might know, but I found 3 years ago 2 of them, sold them in my shop. Never seen another one again. Looked far and wide 2 years ago when I went back. There was not a single one that I could find, and toward the end of my last day, I found one, and it is just. Can you tell I'm sort of building up the suspense? Take a look at this object. This is all hand carved and handmade. It is just such a, yeah, kintsugi, exactly, Jen. Um, this is just, I don't know, it's spectacular. You can get a sense of the size of it based on my hands. I will have a little bit more information about this when I put it up in the shop, and I'll have the proper name, but it is just a piece of art, just a piece of art. And I'm going to put it out in the world for you, and then hope that when I return, the next time I return it for the gem show, I get to find at least one more. All right, I don't have too many more things, but I do have a few more things that I want to share and show with you. So it should just be about 5 more minutes or so. And one thing is I found these amazing artisan dolls, which I think have the most incredible personality. And I have a bunch of them. I'm going to go through and decide which ones I want to keep. And then I will put the other ones in the shop. But they are just, I mean, maybe some of you might think they're a little scary. I just think they're adorable and so cute. There's another one. I think that's their siblings. This is the older sibling. Beads in the necklace. Such interesting carving. Love the colors. Just so interesting and fascinating. Now, not this one, but this one even has a hole in his head or her head or their head. So this could actually be hung as well. And I would love to be at a party where somebody came in and that was the necklace they wore. All right, so I got a bunch of those. And then I'm just going to show you a few more metal pieces that I have. Um, let's see. So I have these metal ornaments. I have quite a lot of them. I'm only going to show you a few, but they're pretty special. and they do have the two holes. So this obviously could be strung as a pendant piece with other things hanging from it. It has a relatively, actually quite flat bottom, so this could be easily attached, which is what I would do to a mixed media piece. And you can use those holes to drill through, or for wiring or threading or adding things that hang. And all of them are one of a kind, and they're all handmade, and they're all scratched into design wise. So I have a lot more of these, but I do want to show you the other style. This one is, you know, it's clearly a circle, and it's got some pretty specific lines and details. And then we have some that are just much more rustic and kind of loose and a little bit more wonky, maybe not fully flat. Again, it has the holes in them. It has the scratches that were purposely laid in. And I have a bunch that are circular like this. This is a rare one that I found that was square. It does have the soft edges, but that was unusual to be able to find that. All right, let's see. All right, now I don't remember which one came out of which. So if I'm gonna put it back in the labels, I'm just gonna have to make sure that I put it back in right, because I want everybody who buys something to be able to get what they bought. I also have these incredible jewelry molds, and I'm hoping lots of people see these online because they're small, and I don't want people to think they're getting something huge. These are jewelry molds. They're brass. They're from Afghanistan. Old, but with the most gorgeous debossing. So, you know, you don't need to make jewelry with these. You can just use these. I mean, they're flat back. So this would be a perfect addition to a book cover, to a mixed media piece. But more than that, if you have air dry clay, anything soft, you can just press this in. You can even make stamps with that material where you can reheat the stamps. And I think that's just so special. I have a lot of these. I've been painstakingly photographing them, uploading them individually. They're all different shapes, all different sizes, all different motifs. Here's another one filled with some beautiful patina, because once again, doesn't get better than patina. Let me bring this down so that's better. So you get a sense of this. And I got one more to show you from this grouping. Some of them have trees, some of them are flowers, some of them are tribal designs. This one I absolutely adore because it is just so linear. Yeah, I really love this one. Really do. It is surprisingly heavy. This is a solid piece. This is not flimsy. This is the real deal. And again, these are from Afghanistan. They are antique jewelry molds. All right. We've reached the end of the show and the tell. There are many more items in the shop that I haven't shared with you. I could not share them all. I needed also to make sure you were surprised by some of the things that you see. Pretty much most, not everything, that I have here, I have more than one design of them. So again, these molds, I think I have about 20 some odd of these jewelry molds, maybe more. Um, these jugs, let's just show you that to you from a whole different perspective. I have a bunch of these. I've only showed you one piece of fabric, but I definitely have more fabric, etc., etc., etc. All right, so I just want to thank you all for being here on recording in person, and hopefully I've enticed you enough that you are either now excited to take your supplies that you have right now and make something, or maybe move around some things that you have in your studio and redecorate, or that you might join me, Seth Apter at sethapter.com, on Friday, 2 days from the time this video is going live, Friday, February 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern, through Sunday, February 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern, when this Tuscan Treasure Market pop-up shop drop will exist. And remember, there's a little asterisk after that because I've added other items that I purchased from other locations that fit the bill. Lots more beads, my friend, plus some other special things that I didn't share. So hopefully you'll all be able to attend. And if you do like anything, I hope you're quick with your fingers and you get it. Everybody, thank you so much. Have a beautiful remainder of your week. Enjoy the weekend. And I'll be back so soon. Bye, all.